Today, Audemars Piguet is known as one of the most loved and popular watch brands in the entire world, being part of the holy trinity of watch brands and producing everyone's favorite watch, the Royal Oak. It's safe to say that AP is easily one of the best watch brands of all time. But it wasn't always like this, and the story of how AP became a world-renowned luxury watch brand is one for the ages. Nearly 150 years ago, in a small town in Switzerland called Le Breslau, two men named Jules Louis Audemars and Edward Auguste Piguet, who were childhood friends but lost connection, had a vision for something extraordinary. They were both working as watchmakers in Switzerland for different companies, specializing in different aspects of watchmaking. However, when they formed Audemars Piguet, the responsibilities for these two completely shifted. Mr. Audemars was now focusing entirely on making the timepieces, which was significantly more work than what he was doing for Tiffany & Co. before founding his new company. Mr. Piguet was now in charge of all marketing and sales, which was also very different from his previous job of regulating watch movements. They set up a small shop on the same complex as Mr. Audemars' house, and made sure that they had close access to windows because the light bulb had not even been invented yet. Despite these two being off to a good start by founding their own watch company and having somewhere to make the pieces, they were about to run into a major setback. This was undeniably the worst possible time to start a watch company because of what was going on. America was in the middle of an industrial revolution where watches made in the United States were seeing a major increase in demand, with watchmakers in Switzerland seeing such a decrease in sales that they started migrating to Geneva in hopes of new opportunity or finding a new profession altogether. With this in mind, Mr. Audemars and Mr. Piguet would wait until December of 1881 where they would sign their official partnership contract, with intentions for it to last only 10 years so they could revive the region of Switzerland from where they were from with the art of watchmaking. As part of the agreement, Mr. Audemars contributed 18 ready-to-go mechanical watch movements, and Mr. Piguet contributed 10,000 Swiss francs, which was most likely his life savings at the time. It was enough to get the business running with a new workshop, gold cases, and advertising. While the world was industrializing with the United States, watch brands such as Zenith, Longines, and Le Coulter decided to make their watches an industrial process, while Audemars Piguet decided to do the exact opposite. They didn't care if it meant less available pieces, higher prices, and even less sales. They wanted to keep the tradition strong and maintain a quality like no other. At the time, wristwatches were not a thing, and until they were, Audemars Piguet was producing pocket watches exclusively. Their specialty was ultra complicated, elegant, and always precious metal pieces. By 1899, they were producing pocket watches with 19 complications, including a grand sonnerie, minute repeater, perpetual calendar, American alarm, split seconds chronograph, and deadbeat seconds and jumping seconds. This movement came from a cousin and neighbor of Mr. Piguet's, with it taking several months to build, and the watch had to be sent to Germany to be completed by a company they paid called Union Durstein, who finished the watch once it was in its case and successfully advertised it. This moment here, right before the start of the 20th century, would be a defining moment for Audemars Piguet and would officially start the pre-Royal Oak era of their company. Audemars Piguet is notorious for selling the Royal Oak model and other versions of it, such as the Offshore and Royal Oak concept. But before they became everyone's favorite brand, they were doing some very different things. This era really started in the early 1900s when AP opened their newest building at 16 Route de France, where the current head office is today. Along with this, they became more legally secure and gave the families of Mr. Audemars and Mr. Piguet the ability to pass down the business for generations to come. They would continue to produce and perfect pocket watches with insane complications and from time to time produce wristwatches. Since these wouldn't be popular until a few years after World War I, Audemars Piguet never really made them public. During this time, the war had shut down a lot of global trade, meaning that although Switzerland was neutral in the conflict, Audemars Piguet had a hard time selling their pieces. It was really unfortunate since they were just now starting to build a very good reputation as renowned luxury watchmakers and innovators. To go along with that, Mr. Audemars and Mr. Piguet made the first handover of ownership to their family members. This meant that two new leaders of the company would have to navigate the watch market during one of the largest wars in history. Miraculously, AP would come out of its quiet well, with them selling 1,000 pieces in a year for the first time ever in 1926. In the 1920s, everything seemed like it was going in the right direction for AP. With wristwatches becoming more popular and sales going up, the brand looked slated to take over the Swiss watch market. Unfortunately, the Great Depression would hit the United States just as the 1930s came around, which greatly affected Audemars Piguet. Its main distributor was a New York-based company called Metric Watch, which filed for bankruptcy almost immediately after the market crashed. Between 1931 and 1935, AP would drop down so far they were selling just 50 watches a year and were being suffocated by the financial crisis and the looming Second World War. Somehow, the new owners of the company did everything in their power to keep the AP legacy going, and thank goodness they did, because the brand was about to boom like never before. From 1945 until around 1970, Europe had to reinvent themselves after the war devastation. They had to reimagine, rethink, and redo almost everything. Luckily for Audemars Piguet, part of that involved a great increase in demand for Swiss luxury watches. By 1952, AP surpassed sales of over 1 million Swiss francs and was back to selling over 1,000 pieces in that same year. The brand was revolutionizing and innovating again, and it seemed like AP was unstoppable. Just 3 years later, they doubled their sales and were raking in millions of dollars every single year by selling very unique and high quality wristwatches. Along with this, AP started using reference numbers to indicate different styles for their models. A prime example of this new change would be their perpetual calendar wristwatch, which came in different dial colors and metals. This was also the first watch with a leap year indication, showing their watchmaking prowess was taking no hits as they increased sales and production numbers. As the 50s and 60s came around, ultra-thin watches became the new fad, and of course, AP did not disappoint. You see them continuing to produce ultra-thin watches today, but this short era will revolutionize the brand. They became masters at ultra-thin movements and experimented with other ultra-thin pieces that were way ahead of their time. In 1961, they released the incredibly thin, remastered model that had an asymmetrical case and a faceted crystal, which was extremely different from anything being produced at the time. As AP became a world-famous brand, the quartz crisis once again put the luxury watch market in jeopardy. Over 3/4 of the Swiss luxury watch jobs were lost, and nearly 1,000 companies filed for bankruptcy because of the quartz revolution. AP had no choice but to innovate, but making quartz models for the pieces already in their catalog would not be enough to save the brand. They needed something different, something modern, something sporty that would never go out of style. With the fate of the brand on the line, they reached out to Gerald Genta, who was commissioned to craft a piece that would save one of Switzerland's oldest watch brands. The Audemars Piguet Royal Oak is easily one of the most famous watches of all time. Known for its integrated bracelet and octagonal bezel and textured dial, it was everything AP needed it to be. The original Royal Oak came in all stainless steel, an unorthodox move from a brand of AP's caliber, and the watch was more expensive than a gold one at the time, which made this piece even more different than anything the watch market had ever seen before. It was elegant, sporty, and put to the same level as precious metal pieces. This was the first piece that AP made over 1,000 units of, and the demand easily met the supply. The watch featured the world's thinnest self-winding mechanism with one of the most iconic looks ever. To add even more aura to the Royal Oak, it was completed by Gerald Genta in just one day, showing his genius and knack for creating sketches for luxury watches. The Royal Oak was an instant hit, becoming Audemars Piguet's best-selling watch the same year it came out. When AP realized the potential that the Royal Oak possessed, they went off the charts with the different metal, dial, and complication choices you could get with the Royal Oak. Chronographs, perpetual calendar, minute repeater, tourbillon, platinum, white gold, rose gold, frosted, ceramic, the options were endless. To this day, you see AP continuing to make new variants and models with the Royal Oak line, and the best part of it all is that they all hold the same weight and demand as the most plain model, the 15510 ST. It doesn't matter what it is, any royal oak sold by Audemars Piguet is in incredible demand right now. That just isn't a testament to their top-of-the-line watchmaking that reflects the amazing marketing and brand identity they've been able to achieve over the years. In the past, passing down the brand to the next generation of family owners was seen as a shaky and worrisome time, but now it comes with optimism and an expectation that the brand will continue to drive innovation throughout the world of watches. When you think of AP, you immediately picture the Royal Oak model, and that right there is exactly what made this watch so special. Crypto traders, celebrities, pro sports players, and politicians all rock the AP Royal Oak. The versatility and different choices this watch comes in makes it perfect for everyone, meaning that there is a Royal Oak model for every collector. The offshore and concept models show this like no other. Between the three lines, there are over 800 different Royal Oaks to choose from, with sizes ranging from 23mm in the Royal Oak Mini to over 44mm with an offshore or concept model. The real value of Royal Oak models can be seen in the aftermarket, where most models trade for way over their retail price. This is because AP has achieved what every single watch brand aims for, the demand increasing the possible supply. Audemars Piguet is still committed to providing only the highest quality timepieces, and if that means that you need to wait a few years to secure your favorite piece, the brand is okay with that. That leads us into the last part of today's video, which is the state of AP today. In 2025, Audemars Piguet is a member of the Holy Trinity of watch brands, which consists of Vacheron Constantin and Patek Philippe as well, showing that AP is in the uppermost of luxury watch brands, and they currently offer the code 1159, the Royal Oak models, and the Remaster model. They are one of the most known watch brands throughout the world, with celebrities and rappers talking about the brand every single day. It's no question that AP has come a very long way from a building with no electricity in Le Brissus, but they still hold themselves to the same standard since 1875, which is what separates AP from the rest. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to comment on what made you so interested in AP and subscribe so you never miss another video like this, as we will be posting a lot more on the channel this month. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one.